Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into all the buzz around AI and, job displacement.
Yeah, everywhere.
You've definitely seen those headlines, right? AI to replace 300 million jobs, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, those really grab your attention. Robots are coming for your paycheck.
Exactly. But our sources today, they suggest a more nuanced picture, maybe a quieter truth behind the noise.
That's right. Our goal here is to kind of unpack that, look beyond the sensationalism based on what we've read.
So let's talk about that disconnect first. The scary headlines versus maybe a more subtle reality.
Absolutely. The sources point out pretty clearly, I think, that automation anxiety sells. It drives clicks, it drives engagement.
More than, say, practical career planning advice.
Way more. The sources argue that the reality is less about sudden mass unemployment and more about, job changes, reimagining roles.
Okay, so if jobs are changing, who do the sources say is sort of most likely to feel that change first?
Well, the obvious ones are their repetitive, rules-based tasks. Lots of spreadsheet work, that kind of thing.
Right, stuff we maybe expected.
But it goes further now. The sources mention AI getting pretty good at writing emails, crunching numbers.
Yeah.
Even designing logos.
Logos, wow, okay.
And they even threw in a little joke about AI potentially hosting podcasts.
Ha! Hey, hands off, GPT. Keep your virtual hands off my mic.
Uh-huh. But it does raise that point about creative roles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We often think of those as safe.
Yeah, creativity, intuition, that feels human.
It does.
Yeah.
But the sources suggest even those fields are feeling the heat, as they put it. AI is apparently learning style, learning aesthetics.
Okay, so that's potentially disruptive. But what about the flip side? Where do humans still have the edge, according to our sources?
This is where it gets interesting. They list quite a few things AI currently lacks. Big ones, really.
Like
empathy, genuine understanding of human emotion, also ethics, making complex moral judgments.
Right, that makes sense. And judgment in general, maybe. They used an example, didn't they?
Yeah, the comedian bombing on stage, knowing how to read the room, improvise, pivot based on that human feedback. AI isn't there.
Okay, so empathy, ethics, judgment. What else?
Emotional intelligence is a big one. Leadership qualities. Handling complex, nuanced negotiations between people.
And that on-the-spot improvisation you mentioned. Thinking on your feet when things go off script.
Exactly. Those deeply human abilities to connect, adapt, understand context in a way that isn't just pattern recognition.
So connecting the dots, the sources seem to be saying those are the skills to focus on.
Pretty much. If AI handles the routine, maybe humans can focus more on the complex, the interpersonal, the uniquely human stuff.
So what should listeners actually do then? What are the practical steps recommended in our source material?
The key themes are pretty consistent. Skill up. Keep learning new things relevant to your field and, the changing world.
Okay, skill up. Makes sense.
Be ready to pivot. Your career path might need to change direction. Don't be afraid to adapt.
Embrace change, basically.
Yeah, and tied to that is embracing lifelong learning. It's not just a buzzword, it's becoming a necessity. You can't just stop learning after school.
Right, continuous development. Anything else?
A really important one, collaboration. Learn to work with AI tools. Don't just resist them. See them as potential partners, maybe.
Like learning to use a new, very powerful calculator or research assistant.
Sort of, yeah. Leverage their strengths for tasks they excel at, freeing you up for things you excel at.
Which brings us back to those human skills. One source summed it up nicely, I thought.
Which bit?
Be relentlessly human. Focus on developing and exercising empathy, judgment, creativity, leadership, all those things we just talked about.
I like that, relentlessly human. So the overall message isn't purely doom and gloom, then?
Not according to these sources, no. While some jobs might be displaced or significantly changed, the argument is that it could also lead to, potentially, better jobs.
More human-centric roles, perhaps. Roles that leverage our core strengths.
That seems to be the hope, or at least the potential upside suggested.
Okay, so less about mass unemployment, more about significant transition and the need to adapt.
That's the takeaway I got, which leads to a final thought for everyone listening.
Go on.
Instead of just worrying about AI taking your job, maybe think about it this way, inspired by the sources. How can you proactively teach the robots to make coffee in your own work life? Meaning, how can you figure out how to integrate these tools, leverage AI, make it work for you to enhance what you do, rather than just fearing displacement?
Okay. Turn the threat into an opportunity. Find ways to collaborate with the tech.
Exactly. Something to think about. Join us next time on The Deep Dive.